Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far and welcome to today's video where I have the uber exciting new launches from Lisa Eldridge. I have the Betty eyeshadow palette as well as the new brown mascara.
Oh my god! Okay, it's happening! Everybody stay calm!
So today we're going to be looking at these two new launches, all of the details, swatches, and of course I will be trying them both out for the first time with you guys. So if you want to know all of my thoughts on Betty and this new shade of Lisa's Kitten Lash mascara, then keep watching. Okay, so first of all, let's look at this new shade of Lisa Eldridge's Kitten Lash mascara. So the mascara itself isn't new. I have already reviewed this mascara in the black original shade when it first arrived, and it is a fantastic mascara. I keep this and repurchase it, and I use it as my mascara for any time when I feel like I might cry. For example, when I go to see any kind of film that might have half a moment of something sad in it or happy, I don't discriminate, or when I'm attending one of my children's awards ceremonies or dance shows or football matches, anytime I think I might get rained on, anytime I think my eyes might water. So, you know, throughout the months of March to September. Because although it's not waterproof, it is highly water resistant, and it's never let me down. I cry a lot, okay? I'm a crier, I'm a mum, and my children, anything to do with them, and I'm in tears. I mean that in the best way possible. So this will set you back £29 or $40 for 8 mils of product, and now we have a brown shade. This is Burnt Umber, and this shade is described as a rich warm brown, and Lisa does have a liner in this shade to give you some idea if you aren't sure on how the shade translates. Lisa says that she's created a warm brown hue that's simultaneously intense enough to define lashes while being soft enough for anyone who finds traditional black too intense. So I love the sounds of that, because I have tried some brown mascaras in the past and I like an intense lash. You know me, I like an intense, kapow, dramatic lash. So a lot of the browns are just not defining my lashes enough, and they get a little bit, exactly. They get a little bit lost sometimes in the backdrop of eyeshadow. You know, if I'm doing a lot of eyeshadow or darker eyeshadow, more intense eyeshadow, then the brown mascaras often just don't show up enough. So I'm really excited that this is not, you know, a light brown or a softer brown. It's an intense, rich, warm brown. I'm excited to try this one. And next up we have Betty. So this is a limited edition. That's right, take heed, a limited edition. And we know when it comes to Lisa Eldridge products, limited edition typically really means it. And I'm convinced this will sell out pretty quickly because it's so different to any of her other colour stories. It's a really special, unique colour story that lots of people want to get their hands on. It is absolutely perfect for spring. I can't think of a palette that defines spring but is still wearable more so than this colour story. So Betty is described as a unique and fresh edit of cool silvery mink, lavender and pinky lilac with touches of warm peachy blush. This will set you back £49 or $62. And it is inspired, of course, by Lisa's absolutely adorable cat, Betty, or My Betty as Lisa calls her. So Betty, if you aren't familiar, which what are you doing? But Betty has the most stunning mixture of colours. It's really strange. It's like she's watercoloured somehow, and it shifts depending on how the light catches her fur. She's absolutely glorious, stunning, so pretty. All of these different colours, and of course Lisa being the queen of colour and colour theory and hues, and she's so fascinated by colour, of course she has been really inspired by the different colours of Betty and has tried to replicate it in this palette. What a beautiful story. Lisa always has incredible inspiration behind all of her colours and all of her products, and what a beautiful inspiration to be inspired by her beloved cat Betty. So this is limited edition. This is Lisa's normal, amazing, beautiful eyeshadow packaging that also features the little holes, and all of the pans are magnetic so you can pop them out, and you could mix and match with other shades from Lisa's existing eyeshadows and her singles. So if you felt like you were missing having a matte, because all of the shades in here are shimmers or more luminous finishes, so that if you wanted a matte, you could easily pop one of these shadows out and pop a matte of your choice in. So all of the shades in here are brand new for this palette. You didn't think Lisa was going to do repeats, did you? First up, we have High Maintenance, which is a Luster Peachy Ginger Gold. Oof, delightful. We have Posh, which is a luminous shadow, Rich Mulberry Mink with silvery pink pearls. Yowza! Next we have Lavender Queen, which is a satin / metallic, incredibly luminous lilac pink with a wet look shine. Next we have Prima Donna, which is a metallic, described as a deep lavender with contrasting cool and hot pink pearl. Then we have Starlit, which is a luminous duochrome, described as a semi-translucent silvery green with contrasting pink and lilac pearls. And finally, we have Talk to the Poor, which is a luster and is described as a cool mushroomy taupe. And there is the whole palette. Absolutely stunning and so unique. Okay, so that is all of the information and the swatches. Let's jump into the demo. Pin this hair out of the way. I have been so excited to try this palette. It's just really speaking to me. It's so springy and pretty and different. I've literally not been able to wait to get my little greedy paws on it. So we don't have any mattes as discussed, so I'm going to use this shade, which is a luster. This is Talk to the Poor. I flipping love that name. And isn't that so like cat-like? Because they literally are always just looking down on us as inferior beings, aren't they? So you can really imagine a cat, actually, that's what they're thinking a lot of the time when rolling their eyes at us. We don't have any cats at the moment. We have a dog. I guess my husband is much more of a dog person, and I'm probably more of a dog person, but I also love cats. I don't know if I think that's quite unusual to like both, but I have a dog and we have been waiting until we move to get cats, because I know cats really don't like sort of being disorientated. So I figured we would wait till we move rather than sort of get a cat and then move and really upset it for a little while. So I thought we would wait until we've moved, but I have promised my children that we can have a cat as soon as we move, and I'm very excited about that, as are they. So that works beautifully as a transitional shade. It's not too sparkly to use in this way. I think it looks beautiful. That perfect, just as described, a sort of mushroomy shade, really pretty, nice and soft, absolutely perfect to give you a bit of something to blend into, a bit of transition. I think a lot of people, which is interesting because I had a lot of comments saying that you just didn't know what to do with this colour story, you didn't know how you would put a look together, and I feel like that's me usually. Usually I'm not very artistic or creative or good with colour at all, and that would usually be me with a more unusual colour story, but I saw this and immediately could visualize, you know, what I would do with it. So I don't know if I'm improving or what's going on. Next up, I must use Posh because it's really speaking to me, this shadow, and I'm going to use this on the sort of outer half of my mobile lid, and then I'm going to blend up into the crease a little. I felt my first flake or two of fallout then. I'm using these shadows dry with dry brushes, and they're going on to my lids that I've primed with concealer set with powder. So I'm literally committing every conceivable sin as far as making these shadows, you know, adhere and not create fallout. I've done everything wrong and I'm only getting a couple of flakes, so pretty good so far. That's super pretty. I mean, already, I've only got time to do one look today, but already you're seeing, you know, a very wearable, easygoing daytime look that is easily possible with a couple of shadows from this palette. And I think that's the beauty of Lisa Eldridge, is she does things that are very creative and artistic, and she's so clever with colour, but she always has an eye on your average consumer. You know, she always has something in there that's going to be easy, quick. She never does something that is really, really hard to use. So absolutely, you know, this is a perfect office everyday look. And you could then, you know, whack anything else in the corner. Perfect, pretty, everyday, more neutral shadow. But of course, I must dive into Starlit, because this is the duochrome and I just know this is going to be delightful in this inner corner. Oh, look at that, so flipping pretty. Oh, I think we're going to have a new contender for, I don't know, I'm gonna have to say second place, because I don't know if any palette will ever top Sorcery as being like my number one from the brand, but this is, I think it's immediately number two. Sorcery might have some competition. So next I'm going to put this shade, what is she called? Lavender Queen. Thank you so much. Oh, she's talking about Betty, got it. This is going to go on the inner corner and give me a little pop there. Very pretty. If you can't tell, yes, I do have yet another cold. What is happening? 2025, like let us recover at least, I beg you. Okay, this is one of the prettiest eye looks I think I remember doing, yet so wearable, so easygoing, not intimidating, but like subtly, elegantly pretty, so pretty. I feel like I'm just gonna be looking at this all day. This really has hit the nail on the head as far as sort of replicating that stunning colour of Betty's fur that shifts as you sort of see it in different lights, almost like, you know, petrol spill, that as it moves you see different nuances of the undertones and the colours. My days. Oh, I think I love this even more than I thought I was going to. Oh, should we do a lower lash line? Let's do something on the lower lash line. I think I'm going to use this shade, which is Prima Donna, just so we can have used the majority of the palette. I think the only one I've left out is High Maintenance. I'm so sorry, High Maintenance. I feel terrible. But I think this on the lower lash line is going to really add some purple as well. This would be a great shade, I think, to add in the crease if you really wanted to make the look more purple as well and really get the most colour involved. But this for me is a subtle way to use this shade without the look becoming really bright and really colourful for every day. But I can still get a little bit of purple into my look without it being too intimidating. Gorgeous. Fallout wise, we've got a handful of specs just here. Really not much at all, given I've used 5 metallics or shimmer finish shadows. Not bad at all. So this is the finished look before mascara. So pretty. I hope the camera is doing it justice, because it's the perfect middle ground between really pretty and effective and wearable. It's perfect. I didn't really think this would be so wearable as it is. I don't know how she does this. She's a genius. So now we're moving on to the mascara. I'm really excited about this. Why do I have to smell everything? We don't know. It smells like mascara. So I'm going to apply this like I do any mascara. And I'm going to start wiggling and blinking till the cows come home. I feel like this works so well with this colour story as well, this colour. The shade quite reminds me of the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Push-Up Lashes. I can't remember the name of the red brown shade. I think it's like a, is it Pillow Talk? That would make sense, wouldn't it? It's quite similar to that, but it's not quite as red. It's more brown than the Charlotte Tilbury one, which I think lots of people will like, because I think the Charlotte Tilbury one was a little too red and not brown enough from what people were telling me in my review, from what I remember. So I think this is, it's very much a brown, but it's like a really rich brown. So there we have one coat. Now I am a 2 to 3 coats kind of girl, but I think we can see this is doing what we were promised, as in we've got definition, you can see my lashes, but they are so pretty and soft and understated, but they're working with this eyeshadow look and this colour story so beautifully. While we're here and I'm letting that first coat just dry down a little, I thought we'd have a look at the Burnt Umber pencil, because although this isn't new, Lisa did send me this pencil as part of this PR package, so obviously she kind of intends these products to work together really well. So I'm just going to use this in my upper waterline. I'm not really someone who loves black eyeliner, but I feel like the Burnt Umber shade and also Ground Coffee, which I think is my favourite from Lisa, I love to wear all the time because they're just so much softer. And there in the lower waterline, I really feel like this makes my eyes pop so much. Okay, let's go with coat number 2. Well, one thing I'm noticing is I always make an absolute mess with my mascara, especially when I'm applying it on camera, you know, touching it onto my lid. This isn't a super wet formula, so it's easier to keep it, you know, from making a load of transfer on your lid as you're applying it, but I will still manage it, especially when on camera because I can't do my mascara face. But I'm noticing this is a lot less noticeable. I'm noticing that it's less noticeable if you do get some transfer onto your eyeshadow because of the softer colour. Of course, you can always remove that very easily once it's dry, just buff it off with a Q-tip, but definitely going to have an easier job than if it had been black. Okay, lower lash line. I really like this on the lower lashes. Definitely less harsh than black. Wow, this is looking so pretty. I feel like Lisa might have finally won me over to brown mascara. I've never really fallen in love with brown mascara before because it just isn't as intense as I like my lashes to be, to really stand out, but I think this one is a bit richer, and just the colour that gives you the contrast that you miss when you go from black to a softer brown. This is like so eye-catching, I think, and soft and pretty. This whole look is so pretty together. What do you guys think? Can you be converted to a brown mascara, or are you always a brown mascara girl? Okay, well, Betty has knocked my little pop socks right off of my feet, and I'm not even wearing any yet. As soon as I saw the picture of this palette in the email from Lisa, I knew I needed it, I knew I wanted it, I knew I had to have it. And so when it arrived through my door, I was very excited, but the pictures don't do it justice. It's one of those, when you see it in person, it's so beautiful, so much more beautiful than I feel like the photos can do justice to it, because it has all of those clever shifting shades. In person, it's so much more beautiful even than the photos. And then on the lids, it just translated so stunningly and so prettily and softly. You know, again, it's one of those that you might look at it, like many of you said, and feel a bit confused. You're not sure what to put where, you're not sure how to get a look, you're not sure how to make it wearable for you. But really, with no effort or intention to do a super wearable look today, I just wanted to try as many of the shades as possible. I've pulled off like an incredibly wearable look that I would wear on the school run, doing errands anywhere, you know, without me having to make an effort to use it softly or easily. It's pulled off the prettiest, most eye-catching and sort of mermaid tail-like look, but one that you could wear easily without feeling like you've done a lot or feeling like it too bright or too loud if, like me, you are boring and neutrals girl typically. I can't stop looking at it. It's so pretty and eye-catching and effective and different and special, but wearable every day of your life. How has she done that? All of the formulas were a dream to work with. You know, there aren't that many luminous or metallic shades that you can buff and use as a transition shade and not get much fallout and not have it exaggerate textures and not have it be patchy. Everything is beautiful. Everything went on seamlessly. And like I said, I don't pry my eyes as a professional should. But even having done my makeup first today, which isn't always an error if you want to avoid fallout, everything was beautiful. A few specks of fallout, having used almost every shade in the palette and all of them being shimmers, is actually quite impressive. And I do find Lisa's shadows to be especially flattering on crepier textured lids because they're just smoother somehow and they're not chunky or glittery. Everything is really reflective and has this gorgeous like wet look sheen without there being a lot of like sparkle and glitter. So I think they look a bit lighter and they feel a bit lighter on the eyes. I love her packaging. That's nothing new, but it is worth a mention because it's gorgeous and it somehow manages to be so luxurious but so practical and streamlined at the same time. As I said, I think this is immediately into second place. It's very much potentially going to overtake Sorcery because Sorcery is so special and stunning, but I have to be in a certain sort of mood to wear it because it is a bit more dramatic than Betty. Betty is like daytime Sorcery. You know, you can wear this daytime, in the summer, in the spring, any day of your life. And it's going to be different to, you know, what I usually do, which is a bit of a brown matte in the crease and some kind of champagne shimmer on the lid, but still super wearable and daytime and lighter and quite feminine and just pretty and elegant. Whereas Sorcery is like drama and kapow and a bit more intense. So I feel like this might be my new favourite ever from Lisa Eldridge. So reminder that this is limited edition and I do expect it to sell out fairly quickly because it's very different to any of her other colour stories and it's just an absolute delight, perfect for spring as well. Also Mother's Day is coming up. I feel like this would be the perfect Mother's Day gift as well. Maybe to yourself, you know. We're all friends here. Now the brown mascara was quite a surprise to me because like I said, I don't typically love them because I just want the maximum impact and contrast, and browns, they always just leave me feeling a bit lacking. But this brown, it's very rich and warm, so I don't feel like I'm lacking in contrast or intensity, and actually it worked so beautifully with this eyeshadow palette and with the liner as well. It's almost somehow adding like drama but without it being reliant on the contrast and the intense colour. I feel like it's maybe the balance between the brown, the rich brown warm shade against those cooler lilacs and purples on my lid. It works beautifully. It looks so pretty and it's kind of amplifying how my eyeshadow looks. I feel like it really made my eyes pop and I don't feel like I'm missing the intensity and the contrast of a black mascara. I think the combination of all of these products is just chef's kiss, you know? I'm so happy with this palette. I'm so grateful to Lisa for sending me these new products so that I could share them and try them with you guys before certainly this one is out of stock because I think it's not going to be that long. But there you have it. Those are all of my thoughts, my first impressions on these two new products from Lisa Eldridge. Please let me know your thoughts. Are you a bit scared of the Betty colour story, or is this right up your street? Please let me know in the comment section down below, as well as all of your thoughts on brown mascara. Are you a brown mascara girl? Are you strictly black mascara? Does this look like it could be the one to change your mind? Let us know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below, we beg you. But I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and I would love to see you in the next one. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye 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 bye.